Well, hello everybody, it's Drew. I'm back. I've been away from modeling for about 5 or 6 weeks. I've been on summer break. Now I'm back to work trying to get everything going for the next school year. And it's also going to be time to build a model kit. So I've had a kit for about a year that has been sitting on my shelf just waiting to be built. And here is the kit. It's the Academy 172nd F-8E Crusader. And this is one of those kits where I walked in the hobby store, and when I saw this, I just knew gotta have it. And so it looks really cool. I read a few reviews on it, and it's supposed to be the best 172 Crusader kit out there on the market. This kit has been repopped a few times with different markings and some of the different parts inside. So what we're going to do in this video is take a look at what's inside the box, and I'm going to get going on it. And then if you'd like to continue watching the build series, just make sure you hit that subscribe button, one of those corners I think. And if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up. If you do a thumbs down, tell me why. I'd appreciate that. I'll always like to improve and present a little bit better videos that you can learn from. So I'm going to take this, open this box up, and let's take a look and see what's inside. And I'll see you in just a second. Thanks. Okay guys, I've went ahead and taken everything out of the plastic bags so you don't have to hear all the crinkling. But if we take a look at the box, of course very nice box art. One thing that kind of sold me on this kit was the box art. I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but knowing that this is probably a pretty decent kit, that is a beautiful box art they give you. And the box art is the plane representatives for the VF-162, the Hunters. It's a U.S. Navy F-8E. Of course, by Academy, and it's going to be Academy Kit 12521. The side gives you a little bit of information about the kit. Also, I see this cartograph, which tells me I'm probably not going to be dealing with typical Academy decal issues. So I like to see that. That's good. Okay, the kit gives us two different squadron options for this model. Now the first one, of course, is what you saw in the box art, is from VF-162 the Hunters, Commander Bert Shepard, CAG officer, USS Oriskany 1966. The other option is to build it as a VF-103 Sluggers from the USS Forrestal 1964. So let's take a look and see what we got. I'm going to move I'm going to move this paper stuff out of the way. We'll come back to that in a minute. So the first sprue we have is our fuselage sections. Yeah. The fuselage sections, we have really nice molding. It's one thing you can kind of depend on with Academy kits. You get nice crisp plastic, recessed panel lines, good detail. Nose cone is molded on, so you just need to paint it and mask it off. Some gear doors, some other wing assemblies. If I flip it over, you can see some of the internal detail that's present. That's going to be the front wheel well right there. This is part of the intake, air intake. It's part of the front wheel well. You can see in there a little bit. Alright, that's sprue 1. Next sprue is going to be our wing assemblies. We have, it's our variable incidence wing. That's what they called these wings on the Crusader. They basically lifted up off the fuselage about 7 degrees, and it gave the plane more lift on takeoff and more drag on landing. It was something unique about the Crusader that Vought designed to help the pilot see better, if I understand, and increase the angle of attack so it could be effectively used on an aircraft carrier. So again, really nice panels and detail there. Those horizontal stabilizers, and looks like some ventral fins on this sprue. All right, and then the third sprue is going to be just all the other stuff. We'll start with the ordnance. You get on this side, you get lots of bombs. These are just, I guess, they're napalm bombs, I would think, maybe. There's some of the hard point there. Looks, again, very nice. And some landing gear. I think that's going to be part of the, goes on top of the fuselage, I think. We'll see. Wheels. Of course, wheels and tires are molded as one piece. Some more. I'm thinking that's probably going to be in one of the landing gear wells, maybe. So we got some nice details. And over here we have our sidewinders. Okay, I did fudge a little bit. There was some time between the introduction of this video and when I made this video. When I pulled these out of the packages, I noticed that I've never seen missiles like this. They look like sidewinders, but they have an extra fin. These are actually French missiles, and I think they're called Marta missiles. I would have to double check that. An Academy put out another version of this kit with French Navy markings, and because the French Navy used the Crusader extensively, and I think they kept them in service longer than the U.S. did. So these are actually used for that particular kit boxing for the French Navy. So interesting. Those are interesting missiles. More ventral fins. There's part of the seat assembly. That's the sides of the ejector seat. There's our cockpit tub. Okay. Notice the details are raised. So maybe you can just dry brush those and pick out a few little knobs and things like that. And then of course we got our exhaust nozzle. Sorry. Alright, no flash. I don't see any pen marks where they shouldn't be. I did have an Academy kit one time that had pen marks on the outside of the tires, which was stupid, but that's the way it goes. Flip it over and it still looks pretty good. Alright, that's it. 3 sprues, and then the clear parts, which I'm going to leave in the sack because one's kind of dangling, but they're very nice, very crisp and clean. You get some small fiddly lights that you have to put on. Okay, so that's all the parts. Let's take a look at the paperwork. First you get all the Academy warnings and things like that come in each Academy box. Anyway, keep those aside. And then we have our instruction manual. And they're just typical, Academy instructions. You get you get a nice paint reference system here, kind of like what you saw on the side of the box. It gives you the code for the paints, as you see when you look at the instructions. It'll have the paint call-outs. It also it'll have decal call-outs when that's called for. So again, typical aircraft. Start with the interior. Looks like you're going to put the air intake together. This looks like it's maybe, okay, this is going to be probably the mid, or the landing gear area. Opens up, and it looks like you're going to, some of these sub-assemblies, you're going to put them all in the fuselage and then put your fuselage half together. That could be good thing. It could also be a tough thing if it's a ill-fitting kit, because you're going to be fiddling around with these parts to get them to line up right while you're trying to glue the fuselage. But everything I read about the kit, it goes together pretty well, so I'm not too worried. Of course, you got the wing assembly, and then we're going to go with the completing the wings. Get the front stabilators, and then landing gear, air brake, straightforward. Again, more work on the landing gear and the doors, which I put at the very end. I save my landing gear and the doors. I paint them all up separate, and then that is the last thing I put on this kit. On my aircraft kits are the landing gear and the doors. And I just save it for last. It makes painting much easier. I don't have to worry about breaking them off, that sort of thing. A few more steps here. Step 10, finish up, put the canopy on, exhaust nozzle, got your bombs, missile assembly. Looks like the sidewinders, you got some fiddly fins to put on. Also notice too that there are decals for the stripes on your sidewinders. That's nice. And just putting all the last bibs and bobs on this kit, and this should be done. Okay, and then of course, sprue map. All right. That aside, next pamphlet is our common data. So depending on, it doesn't matter which squadron you build, they're both F-8Es, and so they're going to have common stencils. And thank God there's not as many as I had on that F-86D Super or Saber Dog. My God, that about killed me. All right, so still got quite a few. Again, one more page of just common data. Okay. For both versions, and then you have the decal callouts for whichever, for this one is for the Hunters, VF-162, and this one is for the Sluggers, VF-103. Okay, instructions, and now let's take a look at the decals. They look very nice, very, very crisp. They are glossy, but you can dull those down. It's not too thick. It's pretty sturdy, but some good setting solution, these will go down just nice, and I don't really anticipate any issues with them. You see, we do got some decals for the instrument panels and the consoles. So it means I might have to sand those down because they're both raised detail, so I might have to sand them down and put the decals on. But anyway, guys, I'm going to get started on this build, and I thank you for watching. Let me put all this, and just stay tuned, and I'll be putting out a few updates here and there as I progress through the kit. Thank you, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.